안 된다고 보는 거예요.
So, Reverend Moon, looking at from the God's point of view, how can we avoid this kind of acute danger and trying to reverse into advantage? That's the way, as the leadership of the God-centered movement, Father has been thinking.
그렇기 때문에 내 머리가 서두른 것이 남미 기구 연합회를 만들고 중동 연합회를 만들고 아시아 연합회를 만들고 그게 미국 내 흥과 전부 다 남미로부터 아프리카 그에 있는 이 큰 형태 만드는 조직 지원을 해놓고
So therefore, Father, ever since entered into Denver, Father has been working for unification of all the minorities.
남미 문제도 남미를 기업하는 문제도 레브런 문만이 만들었지. 또 아프리카가 앞으로의 서만은 레브런 문이 중동 문제도 지금 여러 가지 전체적인 모든 문제들 아카데미에서 우리가 논의했다고 생각합니다. 모든 요소가 그런 방향성으로 수습돼서 이제는 세계가 이 통일교의 선을 없어져서는 안 될 단계에 들어왔다는 것이 이제는 해고 97에서부터 종교 해고 세계를 영위하는 모든 기업들은
So what has been the consequences?
언론계까지 지금까지 반대하는 것이 언론계까지도 지지할 수 있는 환경을 방향을 전부 다 수습하는 노력을 진행해왔다.
So what has been the consequences after Father entered the Denver? First of all, Father organized all the minorities, united together under one common purpose. Furthermore, the Christianity has been turned around. And South America and Central America is a major continent come to the realization that the Reverend Moon only posed the hope and the solution. And that would be the same true at the Africa, Middle East, any worldwide question. Even though Father is in Danbury, the awareness, they miss Father. All of a sudden they come to realization of the value of the Father. They come to search now for solution from Father, knowing that Father alone can bring a solution, no other power.
정상세계적 민주세계 좋다고 해서 그것이 전부 다 큰 두개 붙으니 소망이 없는 그런 세계에서도 레브런 문까지 없어지는 건 큰일 납니다.
Once Reverend Moon disappears from the frontline scene of the American life, they all of a sudden, immediately feel the danger come to them from communism.
이런 사상적 전을 관찰하게 될 때 이제 법정시대에서 내가 총서간 말에는 어떻게 기독교를 한국으로 결석하고 기독교를 결석한 운동이 어떻게 공산주의 반정운동으로 한 것은 치러내는 것은 승패의 길을 가려놓는 사실을.
So Father has been thinking. Once his court battle ended up me going to Denver, prison. Then Father knew this is a grand and golden opportunity to turn around the Christianity direction, and not only for the issue of religious freedom, then step up toward the fighting communism. We all level. So that this actually, in several months, Father is in prison. That hasn't happened.
여러분 미국 역사에서 종교 자유를 정신하고 데모할 수 있고 종교 자유가 이렇게 필요하다고 하는 것은 이게 수수께끼 얘기야.
The amazing thing is America. Everybody thought the land of freedom, land of religious freedom. Never thought about the religious freedom movement in this country. But that has become a focal point of the religious issue today.
공산당이 정부가 예산이 점점 들어가니까 종교 세계에 이것을 세금 조달하는 막대한 자금이 나온 데를 좀 삼아가지고 이것이 공산당에서 해가지고 종교 전부 다 뭐가 있다는 거예요. 뭐가 있다니 거기 테스트에 들어서 전부 다 반대하면서 물고 나갈 수 있는 사람 돌아가는 콘대에다가 그 낚시를 하면 걸을 수 있는 거 하나의 시범 테스트를 걸어서 하나만 걸으면 전부 다 걸려요.
United States
그
bureaucratic governments such as the IRS looking for more resources for income. And they see that the vast resources in the religious community, and they could not tax those resources. For the reason, the secular and more secular bureaucratic thinking is trying to open up the sort of like a threshold. By doing so, they're trying to come up to taxation to the religious community. And they've been looking for most ideal target. First target, and they took Reverend Moon as the first target.
하나님 편에서 지구상이 우리의 인류의 것이 하나님 것이다. 그 얘기를 축제해야 되고 일본의 형제지 인동체 하나의 국민이요 하나님의 아들이다. 다 끝나는 거예요. 응? 끝나는 거예요.
But then,
빨리 철저히 정합니다. 그리고 현재 있은 가는 데 있어서 이제부터의 전환 시기에는 종교 자유라는 문제를 중심 삼아가지고 세계를 기업해. 이 공산당이 종교 만들죠. 무신론이 그런 노름에 무신론을 대항할 수 있는 종교 자유운동으로 내가면서 이것이 공산주의 승공, 카오사 운동으로 길이까지 전환만 시켜놓은 날에는 세계는
so the religious community felt the same danger. The government is going after Reverend Moon and they're going after them next. So the religious freedom issue become an important issue. And therefore, Father actually the founder of the religious freedom issue in this country. Then move on to religious freedom, move on to all the way to the anti-communistic, VOC movement. And this is the golden opportunity. And the Father grabbed that opportunity.
지금 썰어놓고 말이야. 미국이 지금까지 이 경제 미래에 있어서의 이것이 세계 지배를 무엇을 중심삼하느냐 하는 문제가 3세계 경제 원자적인 가장하는 것이 이제부터의 역사 시대의 지배권을 지배하고 있는 그 지배권은 소련단이든 미국이든 하더라도 거기에 있어 전부 다 백혈감 가정시에 하는 것이 내부는 프랑크로 나가게 됐다는 사람입니다. 이렇게 되면 아프리카 지역 이것이 마치 남미 지역 저개발 지역 이것이 전부 다 육체적으로 절반이 됩니다. 그 건네가 그 소유 방향권이 하나님의 뜻에서 결정 단계로서 당선을 행방을 정하고 전진하고 있다는 사실을
So, right now, the world power is going after third world resources. Whoever grabs the resources of the third world will conquer the world, will control the world. And however, today, United States bloc has failed to win the third world. Communist bloc has failed the third world because the nature of the exploitation. But now they come to trust one entity, Reverend Moon's entity. Reverend Moon is the one who will benefit the local community, local nation. They now come to trust. They bestow upon, they really leaning toward the Reverend Moon. And that is happening, this phenomenon happening in Africa, in Central America, in South America.
세계 PWP 요원으로부터 신학자로부터 최고의 기승들을 선생님이고 그렇게 했고 또 남미라든가 이런 선진국에 좀 피압방 운동으로서 반대받은 남미라든가 아프리카 이런 것들 항상 좋아하고 있어요.
So for the intellectual level, Father really organized the highest possible intellectual level through the PWPA and their other academic movement. At the same time, all the politically speaking, Central and South America, they've been vacuumed for political ideology. Father is the one for providing those thoughts, and so that God-centered, the new worldview is becoming their new hope and confidence.
미국도 다산생으로 가면 큰일 나기 때문에 기술광
In the technological world, Father is also in the supreme position. With the dispensation of German and automobile industry as well as German factory. Then what about the media world? The most powerful world is the media world, and they have been always exploiting Father. Now they come to realization. They have to unite with Father. How about the financial world? Again, Father is having a special interest. And
일본이 지금 세계적 문제가 되는데 미국도 일본이 작전을 만들고 일본을 누가 문제 이거 성적으로 필요했다. 딱 선생님 표적을 정한대로 권한 거 들어오는 거야. 일본을. 그렇기 때문에 이것이 벌써 3년 전은 350만 또 회원을 중심 삼고 700만 명 하는 얘기잖아. 한국에 700만 명 들어오니 한국 지에서 안 들어갔다. 한국에 700만 얼마 만들어놨다고. 그렇게 되겠다. 이래가지고 이것이 일본이 타락을 보면 적기된 세화인 시장에서는 천사장을 끌고서 아담의 세계로 들어가요. 아담의 세계에 들어가가지고 사탄, 공산당. 이게 원래 결론이다. 독자를 전부 다 한꺼번에 밀어치워.
So Japan is going to be quite important because without Japanese participation, no world problem will be solved from now on. And Father already have probably the strongest influence and power in Japan. IFVOC alone. Nobody believed when Father announced 7 million membership. But that is far exceeded already. That happened in Korea as well. And
이미 그런 기반이 다
So-
그런 기반이 다 가졌다는 거예요. 이것은 지금 현재 이 정치가 큰 산에 있었다. 이 승공연합을 움직이지 않고는 안 됩니다.
so no matter what, they have to now recognize Reverend Moon's influence. And this is not Reverend Moon's plan. He has already done it. It's there. So no political leadership in Japan and Korea, they could not overlook Reverend Moon's influence.
금년에 미국에 있어서의 4,500만. 연로서부터 1,500만 원.
The United States of America is the next target area. Our goal is 45 million.
간단하면 이것이
45 million.
약사빈적 협회를 중심 삼고 남미기구, 중동기구, 연합장소만 다니면서 이 카오스만 조금만 하게 되면 나라가 쑥 넘어간다. 이 불란서가 전부 다 이제 불란서가 지금 불합화해서 선생님이 치료가 돼요. 이거 뭐냐? 들걸레 등등에 불쌍하는 사람들, 수련한 사람이 가지고 펜나를 꺾고는 이거 아니면 제가 딱 결정적인 이런 입장에서 가지고 모든 불란서 지금까지 보수파 전투를 시행해 보려고 합니다.
So in the United States,
앞으로 불합화 전역에 영향을 미칠 수 있는 분이라서.
in the United States, now this goal of 45 million is going to be easy. It's not going to be difficult because we have to start uniting with all the minorities. That has been done already. Now the Christian churches, together, we come way over 45 million. Another important fact is in Europe. Europe, Father's eye on the France. France in a very peculiar position. Why? The country is a free nation, yet suffering under socialism government. For that reason, there was an incredible anti-communistic move is booming. Happened to be that the Father found fine leadership that the Dr. Seuss tell.
사탄이 물었던 것은 약속해. 불란서가 그렇게 됐다.
So exactly the France situation that Satan grabbed France. They thought they can win France. All of a sudden they only half grabbed. Meantime, the intellectual French people could not accept that kind of way of life. So they are adamantly opposing it. And they're coming 180 degrees away from their own government.
선생님이 어떻게 돼? 공장을 만들고 시민사를 만들고 뭐 아카데미 하고 독립적인 발전하는 것은 어떤 한시하고 말이야. 돈이 좀 거기 땡기고 이래가지고 인생하는 것은 선교의 언어가 특이한 사람이 없다. 선교의 선생님이 특이한
Father has been mobilizing the resources for all this superstructure type organization and the newspaper companies, and PWPAs and council work and all other work. Yeah. Yeah. Tongil industry. These are the superstructure of our movement. And then the financial leadership now. All kind of conferences and science conference, media conference, and so forth. Now, Father is saying, so far, none of the unification members and the leaders especially never supported Father in this direction. They say, they keep wondering, why Father is doing that? Why didn't he put more effort on the church activities itself, the centers? But now time has come. Everybody come to realization what Father has achieved. How all these can come together for a common goal. You are the member of the Unification Church and become a leadership of the Unification Church. Aren't you? So anybody.
그저 따라가기가 바빠서 아이고 내 괜히 들어왔다 이거 보따리 싸야 나갔다 이러고 있잖아.
Anybody sitting
얼마나
here.
차원이 얼마나 너희들이 진짜 이것을 알고 나니까 얼마나 너희들이 선생님을 뭐 세워놓고 무시하고 세워놓고 마음대로 한 노릇이다.
Sitting here in this room, have you ever thought about the way Father was thinking? Academic world, media world, industrial world, the machine, technological world, and the financial world. You just worry about just going each day by day, and some of them become disillusioned. Better be packed. It's just no hope. Many people come to that kind of conclusion. Well, there seems to be no hope in the Unification Church. He won't change, he won't go anywhere. Long march nowhere.
기독교가 세계의 판도를 만들어가지고도 현실 시대를 쓰지 못하는 이런 역사를 살려야 할 때에 그때 토일교에다 기독교가 들어갔는데 그때 했거든.
이렇게 기독교가.
기독교가 지금 제8세계적 판도를 가져가지고도 대를 내고 다 세계적인 기독교를 가졌는데 그걸 가지고 실패하고 있는데 토일교회가 지금 이제 그때까지는 다 가지고 그것을 만들어가지고 참으로 활용해가지고 세계를 열리면 안 된다.
Think of it. Think of it. Look at the Christian churches. The Christian churches having hundreds of millions of population, millions of churches, all kinds of organizations. With that kind of foundation, they could not turn the power of communism. Do you think we just build up the local center one by one and put together, we'll grow in power, then all of a sudden we'll be winning, with the communism? So, thinking about the kingdom of heaven on earth, this kind of goal, we're just, from the step by step. No, Father thinking miraculous way, the leaps and bounds, like a moon landing, Apollo 11, that kind of thinking. There must be that kind of thinking alone again.
세계 자기가 세계적이야 하는 것을 그 세계가 나밖에 없다는 사람들이 통일교회 비교 피나게 걸고 비교해볼 때는 사상적 면에서 내가 사상적 면에는
Now what happened? After many years of tireless effort.
조직적 면에서 볼 때 세계를 보면 조직적 면에서 이거죠. 또 언론인들을 동원할 수 있는데도 이거로. 또 젊은이들은 그저 뭐 어떻게든 죽으려면 죽을 수 있게 그런 명령을 가져가지고 국경을 넘어서 그래서 너희같이 일식에 먹는 것도 이거로 전부같이 그러니까 비교할 때 하나에서 100까지 전부 다 대해가지고 이길 수 없다 하는 결론이 현실화될 수 있는 시점에 이르렀다는 놀라운 사실 알아야 돼요.
So we come to the realization today, all the skeptics, let's call it skeptics, agnostics, about the Unification Church, now come to the poignant realization, Father's really winning. He really meant it. He really meant it. He's going to do the kingdom of heaven on earth. Look, all the top leaders from different fields and then come, say, Reverend Moon, let me be your servant. Let me work for you. Let me do something for you. That has come from the media world, academic world, the financial world, business world, everywhere. Even people see, they're comparing their own leadership with the Reverend Moon. They know they cannot compare in all fields, including, recruiting young people and tasking them. No one even dare think about that kind of task. Father has done it.
미국 정부로 볼 때 미국의 2억 4천만 이런 국민이 거기에 3분의 2억 8천만, 3만 명이 있다 하는 점 말이에요. 수면 가운데 저희들 같은 사람, 그런 사람이 큰 사람이 자기 국민권에 가슴이 가지고 있느냐고. 그런데
So we have here in this country about a 240 million population, and probably 1/3 of them are young people. But they are looking for the kind of people, the motivated, the committed like Unification Church members. They could not find even one. But the Reverend Moon has by hundreds, thousands, by tens of thousands all over the world. They got to give Father credit. They got to recognize Father credit.
이제 내가 이제 한 10년 잠만 나더라도 세계는 통일교회가 여사스럽게 전부 다 말아 제낄 수 있는 때가 된다.
Father feel so confident. I can go back now, have a 10-year nap. But when I get up, 10 years later, all is done. Because
동정하지 않는 전부 다 나타나지 않는데 반대를 받아줄 텐데 이제는 세계가 동정하고 전부 다 알고 너도 나도 전부 다 학자가 되려고 전부 다 그러는데 젊은 놈들은 전부 다 이거 알아서 안 찍는 소리가 미치는 소리지.
For two reasons, Father had that much confidence. Number one, Father already created numbers of another Sun Myung group. This Father feel that Father made young people, inherited his tradition, his spirit. You're going to move on, no matter what. That's number one. Number two, Father, under opposition, build the foundation this much. You're not going to have that much opposition, so you got to succeed. Father succeeded under adverse condition, but you're not going to have adverse condition, welcoming condition. How can you fail? For these two reasons, Father has a 10-year nap confidence. So, So, Father still in prison. Father still known to be a prisoner now. But when Jesus, when he was crucified, the final word he had spoken was, the all work is finished. I finished. All finished. He said, by the same token, when Father came out of that Danbury prison, Father will declare to the world that in Danbury prison, I all finished. Finished the task, the responsibility. All is done. One key element that needs to be done, and this guy here was instructed to do it, and just waiting to be done, and Father said, that guy is too slow. Not me. All is that it needs to be done is just determined persuasion, persuasive attack. And when you have, in order to do that, you need the courage to do it.
그래서 여태가 어떤 때는 확실하게 알아서 지금 때가 지금 이렇게 볼 때 지금 때가 이 역사 발전 섭리 노정의 어떤 때라 하는 것을 생각하게 될 때 이때가 마지막 정한 시기라는 논리를 할 수 없다는 결론이 나온다고.
I want you to understand, therefore, we must read the God timetable. According to the God timetable, this is the time that all things must be finished. All things must be done. And you must be able to read the time. This is indeed the end of the world. Number one, there's a time to digest communism.
공산당을 소화하고 민주 세계를 소화할 수 있는
Reverend Moon has a confidence and gut to digest communism. Furthermore, digest the free world.
그래서 선생님이 종교 자유를 해라. 종교 자유 운동을 시더니 그대는 카우사감투를 써라. 이게 종교 자유는 내가 나오는 말이야. 후지부지 떨어져. 내가 나오는 말은 나 때문에 일어나는 운동이기 때문에 후지부지 유군에서 일관된 전도를 나가시다가 그래. 이제는 세무 사찰 다 만두고 종교 문제도 전부 다 해제다. 한마디 발표하는 말. 종교 자유는 완전히 영적으로 들어가는 거야.
Father initiated religious freedom movement. Religious freedom movement.
공산당에 확실히 해가지고 그것이 종교 자유 운동 끝나기 전에 공산당과 싸워야 될 이 국가적 운동을 세계적 운동을 하지 않는다 같은 그런 구슬 들었지 않으면
So our movement has been forefront of the religious freedom movement, but Father is not going to rest there. Father knew as soon as Father will come out of Danbury, religious freedom issue will die away. Why? Because the most of power and energy come from the Father's imprisonment. When the Father's imprisonment is over, and they don't have any more excitement. Therefore, before that time comes, Father shifts the gear to another gear into. And furthermore, the President of the United States will declare that we're going to honor the religious freedom. America is a land of freedom, and we're going to amend some rules and so forth. And the religious community will be said, well, fine, we have done the job. But Father is not going to end there. Therefore, before we get there, Father moved another gear into the Kausa movement, which is, fighting over communism, the God or no God movement. And to mobilize the entire movement focused to that direction before the religious freedom issue is die away. So, South America, So first, therefore, while Father is in prison, all kinds of situation is happening. First of all, even Pope John Paul II declared finally that all those priests who are united with the Nicaragua government, some foreign ministers, the Catholic priests, or those who are, propagating for the liberation theology, they cut the neck. You're no longer Catholic Church. Either you take a choice. Either you're a Catholic Church or go away with the Sandinista.
다시 떨어져
And
지하로 들어가야 돼. 지하로. 그 대신 내가
And secondly, the Catholic Church at the same time, in South America, Argentina, the Catholic University of La Plata, they came with the crown to Father, with the doctorate degree, the honoris causa, highest honor degree that country can ever give to anyone. It's not just one area. The highest universal degree to Father, and the Catholic Church and the Vatican is trying to desperately stop it. Because it's almost like John Paul II is endorsing Reverend Moon. They don't like that. So they're trying to stop it. But then this minister said, the school president said, no, onto my neck I must give the degree while Father is in prison.
이런 식으로 대통령이 하야 힘을 없다고 선생님을 모셔다가 천하의 위인이라고 부르다. 이것이 미국이 지금까지 선생님 감옥에 들어오는 것을 다시 살 수 있는 하나의 대통령이에요.
But then what the United States of America should do. United States of America must vindicate Father. That's the only way they can pay some repentance for putting Father into jail. And they must apologize to Father. They must bring Father out of the prison and declaring to the world that this is injustice. We, America, shamed by this deed. We are now honored Reverend Moon in this. If Father is like an ordinary individual, as a very vindicative person, Father will say, I'm going to attack this government. I'm going to attack the United States of America. Normally people would think so, because he becomes, and the U.S. put him into enemy position. But Father doesn't think that way. Why? Because Father knows God's will. God will. He's not doing anything for himself, for God. God needs America. God needs strong administration.
미국 국민들이 통일교회를 지지하고 나서고 세계 만민들이 통일교회를 지지하고 나설 때에 미국 역사는 일본 을 죄 없이 가져갔다는 미국 정부의 역사적인 원리.
So when American people come to the realization that Father is a great man, he has done a great work, he has given to mankind a salvation hope, then what happened? The deed of the United Government at this particular time shall remain in the history of the United States as a certain spot, dirty spot. So what about? You put yourself in the President of the United States. Would you sign the declaration, the Father is innocent, here is the presidential power exercised, our Father Reverend Moon, declared to the world and apologize to him? Would you have a courage to do that?
Yes. 여기 제일 못생긴 사람이에요. 제일 못생긴 여자가 제일 못생긴 여자가 그런 놈을 뭐 미국이 만들고 통자 강력을 만들고 사인을 쳐내버렸다. 역사에 뭐라고 무슨 와싱턴 대통령이 위한 그 문제가 역사가
So
인류가 기억할 수 있는 대통령이 됐다는
let's say worst possible individual here in this room, even a woman. Let's say one woman here. And who will say, regardless of public opinion, whatever the media will say, I am going to sign the paper. And even you can impeach me, the President of the United States. I'm not going to be another day to be a president, that's okay. I'm going to sign today for the declaration for the presidential pardon for Reverend Moon. That person, that the worst possible person shall remain the historical President of the United States for eternity. So there, 영계 말씀이니까. This morning I'm getting a little crazy. I'm up in heaven, cloud 9. So, Father said, yeah.
미국 국민이 지지하는 그 해가 생겨났고 예전에는 반대했던 그 대통령에 대해서 공개수단입니다. 그럼 반대했던 대통령장이 가한데 공산당 패인데 이런 걸 전부 다 공산당 패 서서 좋아하는 미국 국민 이것은 가인의 별 드리는 거 아벨이 세기 때문에 가인이 사랑할 수 있는 구원받을 수 있는 길이 있다 하는 거예요.
So Father sees, dispensationally, the President Ronald Reagan, for example, he changed his position to be courageous enough to sign the declaration, then he would change his position, the former in a Cain type position to Abel type position. So then there's an Abel type of American will support him. There will be incredible support he will get. But including the president. You know, yes. Other head of state, what they're talking about. Then there's a Cain type people who will say, why did you do that? Why did you do that? The Cain type American. Those who are surrounding President Carter. You know, Carter was Father's enemy. And so Cain and Abel, like a Cain and Abel. So Cain and Abel struggle on a nationwide basis. But eventually, Cain will be overcome by the Abel forces. No question about it. And ultimately, only few, the worst critics, then we can somehow, persuade them, pacify these people. Then we are going to see first time in American history that unified America. At least one under God's kind of opinion. Who shall unite these forces of American public opinion? The Moonies are going to do it. You American Moonies. You follow?
그래서 그게 너랑 형수들이야 자기들 잘하면서 해야 1년 2개월밖에 못 준다. 그러다가 내가 나가는 날에는 내가 입을 여는 날에는 현론대회는 세계 나라마다 초청하는 사람 다 올 것이고 괜찮게 할 것이다. 네? 와싱턴 광장거리에 여러 가지 해가지고 한 500천 명 모아가지고 저 인터뷰 해가지고 하루에 이거 다 불어넣을 수 있는.
So,
그게 멋진 거야.
the father is living in dramatic life. Is in father's in Danbury prison, almost like the one famous historical Chinese man who was waiting for his own opportunity. He was always going for fishing, but he is fishing always with the straight needle. The straight needle, no fish can be caught by the straight needle. He was not catching the fish. He was catching the time. He was catching the opportunity. By the same token, father is fishing a straight needle in Danbury. So, as soon as opportunity comes, father's straight needle become a round needle. Then we'll catch tuna. What father is basically saying, Danbury, father is waiting for the fruitful, opportune moment for the great happening. And this moment will come. So all of a sudden, the great miraculous phenomena can come. This is that kind of time. One day people just do not see. They're trying to enjoy the day-to-day life. All of a sudden they find Danbury has become incredible volcano, spiritual volcano. The entire public opinion has been turned around to Danbury in support of Reverend Moon. And the world opinion and turned around to Reverend Moon. And this kind of situation is possible. So, can you read the time? What kind of time we're living today? What do you think? Father just said daydreamer. He was just dreaming all kind of dreams, daydream. Or father is thinking, what the scientific and the logical foundation, what is God-centered. Father is looking forward to the vision. He is talking about a vision or a daydream. It's become a reality. Father talking about a reality. Those
자유가 얼마나 귀한 것을 잘하는 사람, 자유가 얼마나 귀한 것을 잘하는 사람이 여기에서 해방을 원하는 사람은 내가 좀
So today, I want to have some special dispensation, Father said. Today, those who do not want to be moony anymore, raise hand. I'll give a liberation ceremony. So since I'm in prison, I'm a prisoner, I need a liberation. Therefore, by condition, I will liberate you from to be moony.
연애도 못하고 뭐 프리섹스도 못하고 이게 뭐야 다 어디 가나 뭐 마음대로 할 수 없고 뭐 이걸 해라 이뭐 여기까지 이게 거기에 정답을 알고 주는구나 이가 서로 민들이 아야 도망가는다 그 안다고 그래 해방식 하자.
So Father said, being in Danbury prison, he really appreciates the value of freedom. So now you're prisoners to the Unification Church. Well, I could not go around, I could not even have a date, I could not have even my own enjoyment, I could not go even my girlfriend, and I cannot do anything, and I have to be bound, I cannot smoke, I cannot drink, I cannot have a drug, I cannot even sleep 3 hours a day. And what kind of life is? I need a liberation. Those who raise hand, then I'll give you a liberation ceremony, because I realize the value of freedom. Well, what about the volunteer? You are clever people. You are pretty wise, smart. You just wait. Now you are going to lose. By liberating from here, going out of that door, you're going to be a loser. You're not going to be a winner. You'll be a loser. Nobody wants to be a loser. That is what they call American pragmatism. How about so what would you would you like to be liberated now, or would you like to go ahead now with the program, the winning strategy, what Father's program? Which one? Yes or no? Father's program? More than ever. 1960, 1985, 1986, next couple of years is going to be all-out attack. The offensive battle. We haven't defended too long. We shall be offensive. Knowing that it's going to be a marching forces. So therefore, without making us trouble in a year later or year and a half, I'm rather those who don't have a confidence, rather declare yourself, I want to be free, and all right, Father will give you freedom.
나 감옥에서 나오면 내가 얼마나 잘 뛰어들어 돌아요. 세계 왔다 갔다. 이제부터 이제 비행기 사가지고 독비행기 사가지고 달려갔다가 오는.
As much as Father wants to be a free man, freedom, and Father appreciates freedom, and Father came out of Danbury prison. I'm going to be really going around the world. Now appreciate the trip, free trip, free people going everywhere. Father definitely will buy airplanes because commercial airline would not take him anywhere.
내부는 지지하고 환영하던 마음으로 사람들 나 이거 해할 텐데 대통령이 사회하고 내가 얘기할 텐데 한번 해보자고.
We see the beautiful plan and a blueprint out there. Father will propose the national rally. The head of state in organizing it, government is organizing it. Father will invite as a guest speaker and speak to the crowd. All 6 continents. That kind of day, that kind of a vision. Father will say, so many people, head of state, former head of state, congressmen, senators, sent me a letter while I was in Danbury prison. I could not go around to meet everybody to thank them. So why not everybody come together in one place? Let me declare the one great thanks of appreciation. And, this is, they know they will be gained by it, they will not be lose.
미국 국민도 50개 중에서 내가 덴버리 들어갔을 때 마음으로 동정한 성원한 사람 전부 다 인사할 수 없으니 그 기사가 들어가지고 전부 다 우리 교회에서 내부르는 마음으로 동정해서 한번 모여서 만나가지고 인사합시다. 많이 올 거라.
So then, even in the United States, Father will go around the 50 states and said, those who have been sympathetic, supporting Reverend Moon's freedom while he was in prison, please come together. So let the government extend an invitation. Let them come to the one big banquet hall. I'm sure state by state, there are a lot of people who like to come.
그러면 목사들이 30만 목사들 한데 책을 받고 비디오 테이프 받고 그게 현시가로 전부 다 그건 시장 일반 시장 판매 한 200불 가까운 신세를 되는데 이걸 전부 다 가져와서 음악들은 누가 해?
Also, 300,000 ministers, Christian ministers, are receiving Divine Principle tape and books and Father's own writing. And, in a commercial, that is about the $200 worth. So they're giving that kind of gift from Denver. So they should be at least to say, thank you, Reverend Moon. The minister should be.
궁금했어. 이야, 그 원리책을 보고 뭐 이런 사람도 궁금해서 안 왔었죠.
People who read the Divine Principle book and listen to the videotape, their curiosity aroused. Curiosity comes to the point that they must meet Reverend Moon in person. They want to see him.
만들어서
People, the minister want to come to see Reverend Moon.
그때 너들 120명 목사들 호텔에다가 저기 앉아놓고 내가 타청할 때지 뭐.
So then you have your 120 ministers come with you and say to Father, Father, this is my 120, my flocks. Then I may give you a special citation.
그 말이 아니야. 그렇게 할지 모른다고.
This may not be just an empty word. You think Father is capable of doing it? Yes or no?
CIA가 반대하고 CIA가 반대하고 하다가 하는 거야.
It doesn't matter what the FBI is in favor or CIA is in favor. It doesn't matter. When Father willing to do it, he will do it.
뭐 정부가 나 단벌 있어 이다고 발전하는 게 아니야. 더 발전한다 그래서.
So when Father is in Danbury, Unification Church is stalemated? Not at all. This is really the time the Unification movement worldwide is moving in leaps and bounds.
그러면 자 자유를 원하는 사람 없어?
So what about those who want the freedom, who want to be liberated from Mooney situation? What about?
전부 다 이거 나 해산하면
Shall we declare that everybody free, and shall we have you go home and?
어디로 갈게? 갈 데 없잖아. 어디로 갈 거야?
So you don't want to go home, then where would you like to go? Where would you go?
어디로 갈게? 어디로?
Where would you go? Huh?
지금까지 목사가 만든 원수가 나를 100명 원수 가운데 10명 원수가 나를 나를 그 나라에 모든 것을
So far, let's say 100 enemies. Then among 100 enemies, 10% 10 people are going to turn their position and are trying to now sympathetic and support you. Then you no longer have a fear to be defeated by the enemy. So the Christian ministers are like that. They all are enemy. Not anymore. More than 10% of people are on our side.
자 이거 30만 권을 30만 명의 이게 비디오 테이프 통화라더니 얼마나 선생님이 감옥에서 바빠갔나 뭐 나갈 생각 꿈에도 그 버리러 와가지고 뭐 어떡할래 집어치워라 이 곽정에 집어치워라 너를 모른다고 이거 해야 된다 내 10월 말까지 제발 12월 말까지 하겠습니다 이 시작하고 있어요 1월 말까지 하시 2월 하겠습니다 이를 들어 하나의 선생님이
The 300,000 videotape distribution among the ministers were brought up by Father. The leaders of the Unification Church were skeptical. Mr. Park was skeptical. Reverend Kwok was skeptical. And Father kicked the bus. And get out of this place. And don't come ever here. You just do it. And Father asked Reverend Kwok to do it by November. Finish it by November. And he said, Father, give me a little more time. It's virtually impossible to do it. And by December, now January. And I do not know even whether that would be completed by even January. When Father's point is, when you are, sort of not fulfilling Father's deadline, dispensational scheme will be postponed.
그만큼